You know, I think a lot of the companies today worry about how they handle, how they manage taking risk. And I think Cisco's one of the leaders in this area is to measure and manage risk. How do you build a culture at Cisco that helps people understand that not only behind risk there's failure, but there's also reward, and keep going on what you refer to as kind of the resilient model?
Okay, great question. I think the first thing you do is outline a vision and strategy of the industry you're in, how important risk-taking and innovation is to that, and then outline how you're going to measure that. In other words, what is your vision and strategy? What are your execution elements? And then how are you going to measure the results in terms of numerics wherever possible? So the first thing is you outline what's possible in this industry. And for us, it was changing the world. And I know that sounds like a Silicon Valley idea, but it really is, and we really will, because that's what the internet is able to do. And then you explain to your team, your shareholders, your employees, your customers, why you have to take risks to achieve those goals. And then you define what those opportunities and risks are. And with any large opportunity, there is by definition risk. And it's naive to think that one exists without the other. And then you educate people on how important it is to take the risk, and that setbacks or failure are part of a great company, and you will never get to be a great company or continue to be one without the setbacks. And know, however, that when you have a setback, you're going to get criticized. You're only as good as your most recent quarter at times, or you're only as good as the most recent acquisition. And I only halfway say that tongue in cheek. You have to be willing to listen to criticism and realize in any element of criticism there are elements of truth. But know that when we miss an acquisition, we're going to get criticized, and people revisit, is this the right strategy? Knowing when you have a tough quarter, you've got to understand what it is and how do you get back. But after doing this for 20 years and broken away from all of our competitors, it teaches you that ability to really bring what Edison and the Innovation Award represents: the willingness to take risk, the willingness to say, how do you do it differently? What are your golden rules that you're going to follow, whether it's in acquisitions or your values and culture of your company, and then articulating that in a way that all the constituencies get it, in a way that they want to follow. Right. People want all of us to have a much higher purpose in life. And one of the most unique things we received an award on from the Harvard Business Review, we achieved an award of one of the top 10 companies, CEOs in the world this last year, and we were number 2. And what was interesting, we'd always been in the top 10. But this year we were number 2 because of not just our financial results. This year it was expanded to literally governance and social responsibility and environment. And a number of our U.S. peers fell out of the top 10 listing, where we moved from number 3 to number 2. That made me very proud. And that's really saying success is not just about innovation and financial rewards. It's about changing the world. It's about doing the right thing for society. The most successful owe an obligation to give back and to teach others. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I think about it.